Hello, beautiful people, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Jennifer Diamond, and I live a whole food plant exclusive, SOFAs-free, gluten-free lifestyle. And I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about a couple things regarding plants. I have this store-bought little plant here. This is a basil, and this is called very leggy. See how it's like just has these long legs, and it's not bushy, and it doesn't have a lot really. And so what I wanted to do was bring you along to transplant this and literally cut down almost to the bottom here and show you that when you cut them down really low like that so that they just look like a couple of sticks, that will allow the plant to kind of spread out, and it will allow it to then become bushy. And a bushy plant makes for a lot of fullness, and it gives us a lot of leaves. This one is, the color isn't super great. I've got some drying up here, and it just needs some new love. So this is one thing that I'm going to be transplanting, adding vitamins, cutting it down, and then periodically I'll show you how it's doing, and hopefully it will improve. And if you have a leggy basil, then maybe you could consider trying this, or maybe this will help you also get a bushier plant. You don't need a lot of space, although I'm going to put it in a bigger pot. You can grow this in your kitchen, in your house, anywhere on a patio. It can be inside or out. I'm going to keep it inside because it's still pretty hot here in Arizona, and it has been inside, so it's used to the temperature here. So I'm going to set that one aside. And then I just wanted to share a friend of mine so kindly sent me this plant, and literally it came in this bag, the Ziploc bag, and it was in a soft bag, and it survived going through the mail. Amazing. And this plant is known as angel grass, and I think the other name that it's known for, let me check, is called, if I say this correctly, let's see, Murdania lauriformis. Did I say that right? Is anyone familiar with this plant? My friend sent me this plant because I was really curious about it. And this plant, I read a little bit. I don't know very much about it. I'm going to transplant it with you as well and find it a nice place to grow. But it is, I read a little bit that it's a nice house plant, but more importantly, it is like medicine, and it treats cancers and other ailments. And people sometimes, I understand, just chew it and chew on it for a while to get the properties. I know that I've heard that it may help with dental, if you want to go a natural way. And so I was really curious about it. And I thought, well, maybe you guys have heard of it. And if you have, leave a comment below. Let me know, what do you use it for? If you have not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing and hit the bell for notifications as to when I post. And please hit the like button so that more people can enjoy my information. So anyways, I'm just going to put this down for a minute. Well, before I do, I just wanted to smell it, and it doesn't really have any kind of distinct smell that I can tell. There aren't any flowers on it or anything, but I just want to look up on Google. It says the Murdania lauriformis is used by Chinese practitioners as a remedy for cancer in early stages and for treating other diseases, including colds, throat infections, pneumonia, diabetes, flu, and inflammation. such as inflamed wounds. And that's just what I read on Google. But it comes in different variations of colors, I guess. So this is just a dark green leaf. Let's see if I could show. And I saw online that they have some that kind of have a white tone to them. I don't know if the different colors or the different variations offer different benefits, but I was super curious. And I also wanted to promote, you know, plants in our house. I'm going to get some gloves and I'm going to start mixing up the soil. And I'm just using a raised bed premium soil that is local to our area. And this particular one I got from, I don't know if they sell this to ship. I don't think so. But anyhow, this is called Tank's Green Stuff. As long as you get a good organic, natural potting mix, that'll work. And this is used for raised bed garden blend. It's a potting mix, or it says planting mix, I'm sorry, but I'm using it in my pots as well. So anyhow, I'm going to add two things to it. I'm going to add the worm castings, because I want to make sure that this soil is mixed up and has a lot of nutrients, just like I do with my garden bed. And then I'm also going to add some azomite, which are trace elements. It helps boost the health of the plants, it says, and nutrient contents of fruit and vegetables and produce. This is a granular form. It's just what I also did in the bed. I don't know if you could see that. At any rate, I will pour what I have left of this, into there. And I'm going to go ahead and bring the camera over so that you could get a better look at what it looks like inside here. Hopefully you can see that well. The white stuff is the azomite, and the dark stuff to the left of it. I don't know if it's your left or my left, so let me see if I can. This is the worm castings, and then underneath with the white, that's the potting soil. So I'm going to give this all a good mix, and then we're going to find a new home for those two plants. And I'm just going to go ahead and mix this with my hands, break up any lumpy parts that I have. And I'm just going to go ahead and start filling this gently with a nice, rich, nutrient-dense, super good organic soil. And I'm hoping that the plant will do a lot better in this situation. And so I've filled it. Let me show you. Whoops. I filled it up about more than halfway, 3/4. And now, just set that down. Move that, put it away for a minute. I'm going to take my basil and I'm going to squeeze a little bit, just ever so gently. It's a living plant. I don't want to hurt it, but I did water it this morning, so it's not dry. And I just want to kind of dump it into my hand and just squeeze a little bit, just to see if I can get it to gently come out. Look at that. I did. I will use this for little seeds or for storage or for growing again. So I try not to throw those out. But sometimes when I take these out, the roots, it has grown out of its container so majorly that the roots are wrapped all the way around. And this one is not like that. But now what I'll do is I'll kind of crumble it a little bit just gently because I don't want to hurt the roots. Let me see if I can get a little closer and show you a little bit better with this camera situation. So I'm just gonna see if I can crumble it at all. And if not, I'll just put it in how it is, but kind of curious about where the roots are. And I can put that soil in there too. I don't know, do you add the soil that for the old soil into the new soil, or do you just kind of discard it and just start completely fresh? See, these roots are way at the top. This has not grown very much. So I'm hoping there, I feel like we're starting to get a little bit of the roots, but not really. So I'm not going to mess with it anymore. You can kind of see there's a couple little stragglers, and what I pinched off of here, I'm just going to kind of mix in a little bit, and I'm going to spread a little hole around the center, and I'm going to put this guy in here just like that. And then I'm going to take a little more soil, and I'm just going to try to fill it up a little bit better. This bigger pot will allow the legs or the roots to really spread, and it's like getting a bigger bed when you're used to sleeping in a tiny bed. And so you know, just watering this now would be great, except that we talked about how leggy this is. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it down. Now, should I have cut it down first and then planted it? I don't know. But this is just what I'm doing. Maybe we can experiment together. I did this before many years ago, and I think I cut it and then transplanted it. But at any rate, this is what we're doing today. So let me sit down on my pad, and I'm literally, let me see if I can show you how I'm going to do this. I'm literally cutting this whole thing off. And now this is what's left, this little tiny stump. And I'm going to do that to all of them. This is everything that I just cut off. And this is what's left. It doesn't look too good, but I'm going to keep you posted, and I'm going to water him and bring this one in the house and give it some food weekly. I'll have to figure out what plant food I'm going to feed it. And I will share with you its progress, and hopefully it will grow. You know, there is always the chance that it could go into shock and die, but I feel confident since I've done this before. Okay, so now I'm going to set this beautiful pot with our little nubbies in it aside for watering later and grab the next pot. I think this is going to be a great home for the angel grass. And I have this stick in here because I have an aloe vera plant over in the corner here that I'll show you if you want. And these are just, you know, coming off of the aloe. Sometimes I'll cut them and I'll just use them as a stick if I need to. Let's say if it was something that was growing up like a green bean or something, I could tie it to this because this is a good stick, or even just for decor. And it's a just natural thing that happens. So that's why I have it in this pot. I must have been doing something with it a while ago. This pot has a hole. You can see right here. It has a hole, and that's for drainage. So it doesn't have it at the bottom, and it does, again, have the built-in lip, and it does have some old soil in it. So I'm gonna kind of see what we have. This is very dry and old, but I might mix it in and just to use it for height. So let me go ahead, and I think I'm going to dump it out in this other pot that I have. Mostly. So I dumped most of it out and I just have this little bit, which I'm going to put in the wheelbarrow. And I want to talk about the inside of this pot. You know, this is just, has no drainage anywhere except for the one little hole that I showed you on the side. And so long term, I don't know if I'm going to keep this plant in here long term because I really like when it has more holes for drainage. But I think that it's a nice wide base and decorative. It's a decorative pot that I think will look nice in the house for now. And so I'm going to go ahead and start with this guy. Okay. So I may have put too much in. Maybe I'll just take, well, we'll see how it goes. All right. So let's look at what we have here. I haven't even taken this out. Okay. So I'm just going to gently pour this guy out. Looks like it came from really good soil. It's nice and dark, rich soil. So that's exciting. And I just want to see what we have here in terms of roots. So we've got this guy and everything else seems to be one piece. So this is great. I'm excited for this. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see, get my my little tool. And you guys can see the busy husband in the background. Hi, honey. Thanks for all you do for our pool. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and dig kind of a hole. I'm putting the soil up. Let me just tilt this down so you can see better, hopefully. I'm just trying to create, let me just put this gently down, this beautiful plant. Just trying to create a hole in the middle. And that's where I'm gonna try to put the roots in so that they have a nice chance of spreading out and finding this to be their new home. This guy's by himself, so I'm gonna put him there. And see. This guy seems to be by himself, so I'm going to put him there. There's a few that are just on their own. This is the angel grass. I think that's what it was called. And that other name for it that I can't think of off the top of my head, but I mentioned earlier. I'll also write the name of these plants that we're doing, that we're repotting in the show notes. In case you want to look it up, it'll have the correct spelling. And please leave a comment if you know about these plants, these beautiful plants. Another thing is sometimes when you fill these, you know, that top them off, and then you start watering them, you'll notice that the soil will compact and it won't be as high. And, you know, that's okay. That's okay. I try to transplant stuff when I feel like it's outgrown a pot or the situation needs adjusting. Maybe it's either outgrown its pot or it needs to come into the house. It was out of the house or vice versa. And there we go. And I think this is good. This is good. I hope this one doesn't go into any shock. You know, there are products that people use to put on transplants on the root that helps with shock. I think I've tried that in the past. I don't have any on hand right now. But what do you think? What do you think? Looks pretty good. There we have it. So I'm going to go ahead and move this and water it and give it some love. I have one of these things. They're called a moisture meter, if anyone is familiar with this. Moisture meter. And sometimes I can't tell if something is too dry or too wet. And so what I could do is just put it into the soil after the soil has been watered and kind of see, is there enough? Is there enough? Is it too wet? Is it too dry? A lot of times this isn't really used in a potted plant, although you can, but on an irrigation system where you're trying to figure out if the setting is correct. So like when we planted our orange tree and we were trying to figure out how much water it needs, is it too wet or is it too dry? This was a tool that we used, and then we adjusted our irrigation, our settings on the water for it. But I might do this for a day or two just to make sure that the water is getting down deep in this pot, because this is a fairly decent sized pot. And so I wanted to mention that. So I will head in and water the basil and wrap things up with you. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're back. So I'm just going to switch my glasses out and just wanted to show you, this is our little basil with the sticks. You can see really well now. There they are. This 1, 2, 3, 4 little guys. And I just want to talk about for a minute some of the different soil, the different plant foods that I have used or are using. This one, I don't know what's in this one, but this one is called Super Thrive. And I have used this. It's says Super Thrive. The original vitamin solution includes kelp, and it shows about how to do it. It's used for transplanting and maintenance for all agricultural and horticultural needs. Reduces transplant shock, even for older and larger trees. Plant health promoting vitamin formula, builds plant vigor, and a landscaper's best friend. So I have this stuff. I'm sure I got this. All the things that I use have been recommended at one point or another, and I've tried them. I'm just trying to see if this has anything in it that I wouldn't approve of these days. But no, I think it's all good. It's nitrogen, and it's derived from kelp. So I actually think I might use this on these guys, but I want to show you what I have. So I have the Super Thrive, and if I can find it online, I'll link a link in the show notes for any of these products in case you want to try them. And if you use my link, if I'm able to put one up, that will just help me. And it doesn't cost you anything. So please consider doing that. Or let's see. Okay. And then this one is called Soul, and its partner is Essence. And I get confused with these because they don't have directions on the bottle, but this is a cold water macroalgae, and it's formulated to provide a food source for beneficial microbes. So that's really great. The only thing is it just doesn't tell me. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Here it does. It's got outdoor and indoor use. And yes, so it tells you how much to add. It says 1 ml per gallon during fruiting and flowering, or 2 ml per gallon during vegetable growth. So these are also two that I use, the Soul and the Essence. I'll just quickly look at the Soul. I think the Soul, it says humic acid derived from Leonardite, Leonardite. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. The last one that I'll share is a new one that I haven't ever used yet. It's called, I don't even know, Mycorrhizae. What do you think? How do you pronounce that? Probably better than I did. This is an all-purpose granular inoculum, consists of 16 carefully selected species of Endomycorrhizae, yikes, and another one that's just as hard to say, and 5 bacterial species. High quality, slow released organic fertilizer is also added to improve the germination and effectiveness. And you too can read it yourself because there it is. I kind of botched it. But so these are the things that I use. And this just talks about new gardens, trees, and gardens and how to store it. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a cap full of this to one of these full, maybe I'll do a cap full to a whole container of water. Okay, so let me fill this up. And, you know, I think I'm going to have to try to find a spot for this guy and make 2 more spider plants. I had a spider plant on the side of the yard when we first moved in here in a pot because I brought these from our old state and I didn't move it. And this kind of grew, you know, it grows this way, grew down out of the pot onto the ground. And a couple years later, I was moving the pot and this detached from the original plant and was stuck on the ground and it had rooted itself. And now it's this gigantic plant that is growing and it's just as big as my air conditioning units outside. And so that's kind of fun. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this guy here and see if I can show you him. I'm just going to start. Whoa, that came out really fast. You know, this might not work. I might just have to put it in the sink for you to see. I'm just going to try to gently give this a nice drink. And find a nice place for it to settle down. I'll leave it in the sink for a while just to see how it drains out of here. And if I find that it's coming out the top of this, then I just tip it a little bit and drain it in the sink and then I will move it. So thank you so much for joining me. And I hope that you learned something, or maybe you can share something and teach me because I am very new at all of this. But I am curious and looking forward to more planting. Another thing I just want to remind you, and it also helps remind me, is that once we use our tools from outside, that we should open them, wash them very well, dry them very well, and then oil them. You can use any kind of oil. These days, I don't really use oil for cooking or anything, but if I have any leftover, even, I wonder if I could use baby oil, but I usually use cooking oil. These look like they are needing some like Brillo pad just to get some of this off. I should clean these every single time I use them, but I don't. And so it will just help ensure that our tools hold up and last. And I'm going to do this guy too. So don't forget to wash your tools and eat your greens. Thanks again, everyone. Bye-bye.